all right. Facebook, guys, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? Happy Wednesday. I had to check what day it was. Happy Wednesday to all of you meatballs out there. And some Wednesday wisdom coming your way tonight via an amazing reel that I saw. I had to spend the beginning, the first part of today at the auto shop, the auto dealership. You know, they had a recall. They had to take care of it, which they couldn't, of course, they don't have the parts, but they had part of it done. They had part of it done. When I was there, I had a chance to see the setup. And I'm always talking to you guys about your mental toolbox. These ASI bitches got hundreds and hundreds of tools that they have to work with on these complex machines, which we call cars. You guys, I realize, I mean, the components of these cars, I mean, are amazing, and they need all these specialized tools to do it. You know, we're the same thing. We're a specialized complex machine that we have to monitor, and with the right tools to understand how to use this machine, because we think we're this reality-based 5 cents, you know, simple system, this simple meat suit. We are complex, we are amazing, and if you understand it, you don't need a white coat. You don't need an acronym in the beginning or the back of your name to understand how this system works. You don't need to be certified. You don't need all the degrees and accolades on the walls and all this other shit. All you need to understand are the basic components of us. That triumvirate, that triangle of us, which is body, soul, and spirit. We've been taught since day one, and I'll get to the national day of today. We've been taught since day one that we have these 5 senses, you know, see, hear, smell, taste, touch. I mean, verbatim. You can name them off, you know, using your 5 fingers. But neuroscience is saying now, this is amazing. This is what I'm getting at. I'm comparing the, not even an auto mechanic, you should be an auto scientist. I'm comparing that metaphor to who we are. Cars are constantly evolving. They're getting more complex. We have already evolved. We just got to learn how to use the tools. And there's millions and millions and millions of ways of setting yourself up to understand how to use this complex system, which is us. I love showing it in different formats, in different ways, but tonight I'm going to get to National Day of and get to my point here, because I got the cheesecake here tonight, guys. This, as I always do. I'm always giving you guys more information. But it's so much fun to pass on this kind of information to help you guys realize we're more than just this friggin' meat suit. I mean, we are so powerful. And there's a system in place looking for us to direct it. Our aura, our quantum field that surrounds us, waiting for direction. But if you don't give it the direction the right way, it's going to give you exactly who you are. And if you don't monitor who you are, you're gonna turn out some stuff you don't want to turn out, man. But let's get to National Day of. It's National Splurge Day. How quaint. Splurge on yourself. I mean, whether it's a materialistic way, which is great. I splurge with information because knowing more brings me so much peace in my life. Knowing more gives me the understanding on how powerful I am, and I can create, and I can manifest, and I can feel this abundant living every day, which will, in essence, will manifest gradually into my outside world. You get to that kind of perspective in your life. You start understanding the power that you have, and you start using it with clarification of all the tools that you have, and start implementing it and applying it every day in your life. You're going to heal yourself. You're going to feel better. You're going to create the most amazing things, and you're going to say, wow, it's a miracle. No, meatball. It's you being the best self, the authentic self, showing the world every day who you are. But out of National Splurge Day comes the next one for my raw fish parasite eating friends out there. I'm just kidding, guys. Don't get crazy. It's National Sushi Day. You know, people in Japan live the longest. They have the longest lifespan on Earth. You wonder why? Because their food is pure. If they don't live on that artificial frosted flakes kind of shit. Sorry, Kellogg's, don't sue me for that. But you know, when you really think about it, their diet is not complex. It's very simple. They go by a very simple regimen of pure food. and they live by high morals, high values. They have a 4% obesity rate compared to a 44 to 50% here in the U.S. You wonder why the shit's hitting the fan with a lot of people's health. But most importantly, their spirituality is beyond. I mean, I wish I could friggin' live there, but I can't because of the seafood allergy. Everything they eat is seafood. But they had a Pepe's Pizza. Then I was gonna jump on the first plane, just because their values about life and their beliefs about how special and how they treat the mind in general is absolutely amazing. But enjoy your sushi, splurge a little bit today and out of the quote box today, and I'll get to my point here. What you amplify, what you focus on, you amplify. What you believe, you attract. What you embody, you become. I basically describe the triumvirate of who we are, of body, soul, and spirit, or you can call it mind, body, soul, whatever. I mean, there's all different ways: conscious, subconscious, superconscious. This is what I mean. They articulated who we are in many different forms, facets, and whatever you want to call it. But the point being is, we are a trifold being. But the five senses only handle the body part. What about the other two parts there, Meatball? This is what people don't hear about. This is why guys like me like coming on. And getting back to neuroscience, they're starting to sit, they're clarifying now that there is between 9 and 33 different senses in those two parts of us that we don't really talk about much. What I'm going to get to you guys is the five senses of the body, which we know. I already mentioned it: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But the soul, you guys realize the soul is the reprogramming starts. And get out with that stuttering here tonight, Chair. The soul. Think about this. I'm going to give you the five senses of the soul. These are your mental tools to add to your mental toolbox. And realize when you start implementing and understanding how these senses work, it's not really hard. It's not. It's you monitoring your thoughts every day. And what your soul desires, your soul's going to bring. But you have to keep telling it. You have to keep implementing it with affirmations and incantations and meditation, however you want to add to it to keep you focused on the gift that you have. It's all about using your gift, whatever it might be. You can't be something that you're not. So we're given something in this time realm of life to give to life, to better ourselves, most importantly, better the world around us. And the five senses of the soul are the mind, what you think every day, the will, your drive to act, your emotions, that energy in motion by what you feel, and your affections. In other words, not what you're giving your love to, but from what you love to do. And this is all about self. This is not about giving it to anybody. Being your best self will present that best self to everybody and attract to you the right people to match that self that you're emitting every day. What you're thinking about every day, indeed, is what you're bringing about. What is your soul telling you? Well, what is your soul? I call it the heart, the little brain in the heart. Well, what is your heart telling you to go after every day? This is what I'm talking about. You start implementing and understanding what your body and your vibes are sending off. You realize if they need correction. Do they need more reinforcement, like adding a little rebar to that concrete foundation of principles that you live by? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Like I said, mind, will, emotions, and affections. And the last and most important one is imagination. What pictures are you seeing every day? What pictures are you seeing? I mean, I live on social media and on many different platforms. I'm learning the patterns of people. I'm trying to figure out what's going through their mind when they're making these videos. What's going through their mind when they're setting up these daily thoughts of who they are and presenting it to the world, and getting back on why this happened to them. It's what you're imagining every day. What your soul is giving you is a picture of the future. What your imagination does is set it in motion, because you're using the other five senses: your mind, your will, your emotions, and your affection to it. What you love to do will create more of love to doing in life. You start verbing all this stuff, and you start creating all these images and pictures in your mind with clarity. But you have to know what it is. You don't have to search for it. You already know what it is. You already know what you want to do in some grand scale. Start getting in that picture. You look in the mirror, you can't change what you see, but you can change how you see it, your perception of it. And imagination is your ability to see what isn't visible yet. That's the beauty of us. This is the beauty and the power that we have in life. We have the ability with complete and utter faith, which is part of the next part of us, that triumvirate I was talking about. We have the ability to create virtually everything we want and desire, which we're doing already. Mind you, we're probably what we don't want out of thin air. That's the power that we have. We have the power to jump into this quantum field. Like I said, where the cheesecake is, baby. This is where all the good stuff is. Top shelf items, man. We're not drinking from the well anymore, as bartenders would say. We're taking high-end, top shelf. We got the finger in the air. We're ready to go here. And now on to the spirit. We've already dabbled in the body. That's just a meat suit that's reacting to these other two parts of us, our soul and our spirit. Think of this, where all the transformation goes quantum. This is your rocket. This is your transformational rocket every day that you're sending out. And this is not some Bible study. This is all clarified way of feeling every day that jumps into the field and matching you with all the frequencies that you need to get where you want to go. But it requires focus. It requires knowing what you want. Even though you already know what it is, well, whatever you want to create. It's knowing that person you want to become. If it's just becoming a better you, you know you have to follow through with that every day. You got to implement it. You got to take action toward it. You have to act the part, like I mentioned in last night's show with Jack Nicholson, to the utmost degree. I mean, 1,000%. You got to amplify it, like I mentioned in the quote box for today. But your spirit, where all of the transformation goes quantum. In other words, it starts getting the emotional code of your life when you pray. Okay, fine. Speaking the truth to the divine. Who's divine? Us, meatball. We're divine beings having this amazing spiritual experience. So when you're praying, you're basically, praying to me is just basically thinking in a positive way. That's basically all it is. What you say to yourself, you bring to yourself. You start articulating an amazing mantra that you can tell yourself every day. You're going to start doing that every day. You're going to start becoming that and start attracting from it. Next is praise. How many of you actually praise yourself? I mean, they speak about it in Scripture about praising God. Okay, fine. If God dwells within us, and they've said it in many different verses in Scripture, so we're praying to ourselves. We're praising ourselves. We're talking to ourselves. We're creating a reflection of ourselves. Praise is declaring true to your reality. You know, Muhammad Ali didn't say, I'm the greatest before he became Muhammad Ali for no friggin' reason. He knew what he wanted. He knew who he was. He was a champion. What did he like to do? He liked to box. Guess what? I am a champion. I am the greatest. When he was Cassius Clay, before he even picked up the friggin' name Muhammad Ali, he was a champion. Therefore, it manifested in his life because he kept giving himself praise. And this is not arrogance. It's not being selfish. It's you being your true highest self, presenting it to the world every day. Watch what kind of people you start attracting. Watch what kind of opportunities and functions of the mind start popping out and saying, well, wait a minute, well, I didn't realize I can do that. And the aura around you completely and utterly changes just by what you're saying to yourself through praising who you are as a person. That was the hardest thing for me to get past. I knew I had a great idea for America's Mentor many, many moons ago. We're talking years ago. And it wasn't until, and I started making videos before I even freaking believed in it. But it wasn't until I actually started praising myself, believing myself, understanding the knowledge that I knew, because it took me out of that 12 by 12. I said, wait, let me share this story. And the story just amplified. That's how life is. It's showing you one step at a time. You don't got to really do anything else. You got to be that else to create something else in your life. The next is worship. This, again, goes under Catholicism and any kind of religion or ism you guys follow. Worship is aligning with the highest version of yourself. I spoke about this many times on America's Mentor. worshiping yourself, aligning with that true power that you have, amplifying it every day is going to create the most amazing opportunities, synchronicities, and from there, serendipities to match the outcome of what you're worshiping. You know, worshiping yourself as a divine being every day, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with holding your shoulders back and your head high. Yeah, you've been through shit, you've been through the fire, but you knew that you're not going to get burned again because you learned from wisdom, not from revenge, not from anger, not from all these things that are going to set you back, but from true wisdom and knowledge, knowing that you put yourself there to begin with your thoughts about yourself. You've attracted that kind of situation in your life, and you learn from that because you're being a better you. You're being a different self. The ultimate, true, authentic self that you've always wanted to be. And faith. You know, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. They didn't say that in Scripture to come across as some inspirational, person back then in the cave writing on rocks, man. No, they understood what they were saying. It's small as a mustard seed. Have you guys seen how small that is? You start believing and having true faith in who you are as a person, the mountains are going to move out of your way. You're not going to have to move them. You're not going to need a staff and holding your arms in the air like Moses and praying to thunderstorms. You're not going to have to do that. They are going to naturally move out of your way. Why? Because when you have faith in yourself and you believe in yourself, you emit a different energy. Therefore, everything that it doesn't match your energy has to move for the new energy to come in. It's like you're emptying your closet. You're cleaning out the old you. I used to call it the hurt locker many moons ago. People used to visit their hurt locker every day, in their thoughts, with their memories and what people have done to them in the past, reliving that every day. That kind of mental shit will really set you back. Faith, true faith in who you are as a person, not necessarily your abilities, that comes in time. But having the faith in your abilities creates what? Possibilities. It's you understanding who you are and realizing it. And the last one, before I let you guys go tonight, is meditation. Meditation has become a business. It really has. And I say that respectfully. All the guys, the Renkis, and all these people out there that are promoting it, that's great. It's their way, like I do with my live shows, of inspiring and making people feel better. So don't take it, please don't take it against anybody who practices that or actually uses that as a business model. That's great because you're helping society in your own unique way. Meditation, to me, is constantly focus. It's mastering focus. This is what the Japanese do, people in the Far East master, is their ability to focus on what they want to become or whatever there is they're trying to attain in life, whether it's peace, abundance, clarity, good health, curing themselves, healing themselves in all facets. When you master meditation, pure focus is basically what it is. You'll master where you're going because this stuff is just going to start showing up in your life and it's going to blow your friggin' mind about your ability to create something out of virtually nothing. The Darwin theory about reality and everything, all that stuff is going to be in the shitter when you start understanding. And don't get me wrong, I mean, that was the presumptions of people, notable people back then. So don't get me wrong on that kind of narrative and take it the wrong way, because science is always evolving. Scientists are amazing because they take things apart. You visit like a Tesla or or what do you call it, in medicine. I didn't want to say Einstein, get it wrong here. And you picture those guys 1,000 times, implementing their ideas in all different ways, registering that and saying, wait, this doesn't work, but this works better. That's all science is. It's evolution. We are basically an amazing science project. When you realize what kind of science project you are by your thoughts about yourself and what you're trying to create, you say, wait, I got to tweak it here. It's like a soundboard at a rock concert. These vast array of buttons. Think of those buttons as emotions in your life. You start changing your emotions, hence your energy emotion, you change everything. And I'll leave you with this. When you learn to program the ones you can't see, you unlock the version of you that was always waiting. That's your desire, waiting to come out of you. It's in your soul, guys. You know what I mean? It even states on my Facebook page, your soul purpose is your soul's purpose. It's why you come here. You didn't come here to work 9 to 5, the way to make a living, that kind of shit, or to be abused or beat on or have this, small life. You're here to have this grand, amazing life, but you have to choose it, decide to have it, implement it, act from it, act accordingly with it, and then let life evolve from that. There's 10 other senses here, but neuroscience saying there's up to 33 more. I gave you 10 out of the 15. The first 5 you already knew. The see, hear, smell, taste, and touch of this meat suit doesn't run our life. It's the 10 senses that are buried within, deep under the hood, that you got to pay attention to. I'll read it to you one more time. Not the meaning. I'll just go through them real quick, and then I'll let you guys enjoy your Wednesday, because this is super duperly important for you guys to really understand. And honestly, it's what I practice every day. It's who I am as a person. Your body has 5 senses. Your soul has 5 senses. You're saying more now. And your spirit has 5 senses. Soul, mind, will, emotions, affections, and imagination. And the other one is your spirit, which is most importantly, like I said, this is where the cheesecake is, baby. Pray, praise, worship, faith, and meditation. What are you doing with those last 5? Are you praising yourself? Are you praying good thoughts to yourself? Are you praising the person that you are? Are you worshiping the person that you are? Not with tangible things or meatball, but with thoughts and feelings. Do you have faith in yourself? And are you meditating, hence focusing on that every day? With that kind of mindset, you are denied nothing that you don't first deny yourself. You let down the walls. You leave the castle. And guess what's out there, people? The kingdom, guys. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram. At America's Mentor on X, guys. Much love to you. And YouTube, yes, I say it every show. Every day it's growing. Hashtag America's Mentor. Tomorrow, Kurt created a channel for myself and another contributor. He's going to add more and more. But Americans Talking premieres tomorrow here on Facebook Live, 8 o'clock. Join me for that. It's just 2 meatballs going at it at like a round table. We're just talking about life in general. I have a great topic I'm going to bring up with Kurt tonight. But Americans Talking at Americans Talking on YouTube. Guys, subscribe to his channel. This guy has been amazing to me for a decade. I love him. Much love to you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. I hope this helped, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon, man.